Time to talk real estate this morning. Lovely Alison joins us in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Damo.
I tell you what, lots of things are happening around our community at the moment, including the possibility of some rate rises. We've seen the interest rates have been rising every month for the last 6 months.
Yeah, the RBA rises like you're talking about. So that's what we're up to number 8 now, I think we are. And next month, hopefully not before Christmas. That would be a great Christmas present to not go up one more time, won't it?
Yeah, indeed. But how do our landlords actually cope with things like this?
It's actually really difficult. So as a homeowner and a landlord myself, I'm getting a letter from my bank every month saying this is the new payment. It is so scary because when you go for your home loan, you know, okay, this is where you can, you know, this is what is costing you every month as a homeowner. And, you know, you've got your rates, you've got your insurances, you've got everything. And they keep going up, which means as a homeowner, as a landlord, you might have to sell because your tenants aren't paying enough or you're not earning enough now to cover it. Then you put the rent up. So which is it's sad for the landlords and sad for the tenants.
I guess, say 12 months ago, our interest rates were at a pretty all-time low. So if you had have locked in a fixed interest rate, you would have been okay, but you wouldn't have known that they were going to be going up for the last 8 months. So if you had it on a variable interest rate, then you're losing out.
Definitely. So you would never have known. It's like pre-COVID. We're still a bit cheaper than what we were pre-COVID, I've got to say, when it comes to the bank, interest rates anyway. So we're still good, but if it goes up 1 or 2 times, we're now worse off. So pre-COVID, we would never have known that was going to happen because they've never dropped significantly either. But now they've gone up so quickly, we're having to scrounge around for money that we just don't have. The fuel's gone up. The food's gone up. Everything's gone up. Rates have gone up. Insurances have gone up. Healthcare's gone up. So everything has gone up, and the community's, very poor and very crying right now. We looked at COVID. We've talked about this before, where people couldn't pay their rent because they were shut because of COVID. 18 months on, they're now having to pay that rent back as a commercial tenant. They can't afford this. They're the ones that pay the rates as well, commercial tenants.
Yeah, indeed. And speaking about rates and council rates, obviously we declare that you are a councillor, but there's talk that council are going to go to IPART to have a look at the actual rate pegging.
Yeah, so we voted on that last month, I think. So that's going to be happening, and it'll come back usually around the June time where we have to vote for the next rate rise. So we're looking, in the 5.2 or 5.3%, which as a real estate hat, put that back on, that's going to be devastating for our landlords. It's going to be devastating for our homeowners and our tenants and our commercial tenants. So everyone gets affected by this. And it's going to be a really hard meeting then, and it's going to be hard for our landlords. It's going to be hard for all of us.
It's going to be hard for the community, and I think also council's missing out on a lot of money because one of our biggest employers and our biggest land user, being Circo, the correctional centre, aren't paying rates.
That's right. So maybe that's something that the government needs to look into. Is why aren't these like charities and businesses like that paying the rates? There was talking about rates, obviously. There's, talk, obviously, talking about Circo. But also the fruit pickers were here during the time that we did, the survey. So when was that, last year or 2 years, 2000?
I think it was last year.
Last year. So we had pickers here that...
The census.
For the census. So, they're included in that as well. So as well as the Circo, obviously, inmates.
So our population in the Clarence Valley, has it really gone up, or has it been inflated due to the fact that they're including Circo, the correctional centre, and the fruit pickers?
Now, I keep saying it, you need to talk to the real estate agents. Obviously, that makes sense because we're the ones that are actually housing everybody from out of town. So during COVID, obviously when this was around, and pre-COVID as well, just before COVID, there weren't many people moving here. It did slow down. The only people that I was actually rehousing were Circo workers. You had to move here, and you had to actually show that you've got a lease in place. This is when, obviously, in lockdown, there was no one moving here but the Circo workers and people that had to move here for work. It wasn't tourists. It wasn't people like that moving here for enjoyment. Because they weren't allowed to leave their LGAs at the time. They had to actually prove they had employment.
Yeah, indeed. All right, well, interesting times ahead. Hopefully we won't get a bank interest rate rise.
No.
And hopefully come June next year there won't be any rises in our rates.
Look, the rents have gone up because of it. If the rents go up, then our sale prices go up. If our rates go up, then the tenants, like I said, the rate rise goes up. The sale prices go up, which means, again, we're in dire strait and our tenants are the ones that are going to be affected.
Indeed. All right. Thank you. Have a great
weekend. Thanks, Damo.